What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Igneous Gaming. Today I actually unlocked the round robin hand cannon from Neomuna, and I decided to do a 120 round per minute hand cannon comparison because I absolutely love Igneous Hammer and I wanted to see how round robin actually stacked up to that weapon. So I do have gameplay of both of these weapons. Now both of these weapons are still earnable inside the game. Now, first and foremost, 120s actually used to be meta at one point, but they have been toned down quite a bit due to certain changes inside the game, whether it's been a quick draw nerf or a rampage nerf. For example, Igneous Hammer actually rolled with rampage, and you could just walk around and two-tap guardians once you had rampage procced. Now, one thing about 120s is they are very forgiving, but the only downside to them is they lack that time to kill as the 140s do. The beautiful thing I love about Igneous Hammer, though, however, it feels like a 140. Now, round robin actually has similar capabilities. It does feel somewhat the same as Igneous Hammer, and keep in mind with the gameplay, I am using Ophidian Aspect on the Warlock, but I also have gameplay with the Hunter as well, so I have been diving back and forth between the two. But the beautiful thing about these two hand cannons is Igneous Hammer is solar, round robin is strand. We do have the authorized mods for our artifact mods this season, and those reduce the cost of the mods on your armor. So for example, I can have 3 unflinching solar weapon mods. I can have 3 solar reloader. I could do the same thing with strand. I could have the same for targeting. So it does benefit, especially since the 120s are a lot slower with target acquisition and stuff like that. So you can really maneuver between each character, even on Titan. Even though it doesn't really have a hand cannon exotic or a movement exotic that will up the ready time for these weapons, you can get around it with these mods. Now, unlike the Titan, you can use Ophidian Aspect, which I'm expecting a nerf to come to those eventually at some point to where you don't really have to use the mods. But given this season with the mods that we have, you definitely want to take advantage of that, and that's the main reason why I am going over these today, because I did, like I said, unlock the round robin. And before we jump into what roles you should get, what you should be looking for, Igneous Hammer, you cannot actually obtain any more, so to speak. You do have to play trials, so you can't actually get a world drop or an actual trials drop, so to speak, but you can do the focusing where it's the legacy focusing, and you will actually get one. Now, once you have it in collections, it'll be cheaper to focus, but if you already have it in collections, you're already good to begin with. Now, Igneous Hammer, it did come out, I believe, in season 13, and it was a phenomenal weapon. I absolutely loved it. I loved the way it felt. I loved how it fired. I loved everything about the weapon. I did not have any complaints, and I do not have the best rolls of either of these weapons, so to speak, right now, but the rolls that I have definitely work in my advantage. Now, when you are playing with a 120 hand cannon, you definitely want to play a little bit more passive, and you do not want to get inside that range where SMGs will tear you up or a 140 will tear you up. So you kind of want to play your distance, and that's pretty much what I've been doing. And it does take me a little bit of time to get used to that because it's been such a long time. I've been using 140s, and hand cannons right now are really not in the best spot, so to speak, for Destiny 2 right now. Pulse rifles and certain scout rifles and stuff like that are pretty much the meta right now, especially with the longer maps. I know Bungie has made a change where we're going to have bigger maps playing here or there a little bit more often compared to the smaller maps, and you definitely don't want to bring a 120 in a small close quarters match because you will get shredded, and more often than not, depending on who you're playing against, you know, you still have the shotgun rushers, you still have the immortal SMG, you got people using other SMGs, and it is very difficult when you do have that slow firing. So in a sense, it's not as forgiving as I stated in the beginning of the video. But if you are playing at the correct range for these hand cannons, you will absolutely shred a lot of your enemies, and they won't really know what hit them. They'll be pretty surprised. Now, one thing about the round robin that I absolutely love is it is craftable. There's a lot of cool rolls that you can have, and it does work with the strand subclass. Now, that's not to say Igneous Hammer sucks or anything. It's really a hard sell for me to say, oh, I prefer one over the other. The beautiful thing about round robin is if you don't have an Igneous Hammer and you want to go for round robin, I would prefer it. You could go for round robin, but it will take a long time to actually get the red borders that you actually need to craft a roll. I don't have a crafted roll yet. I am trying to get one. Now, the easiest way to even get close to getting one is to definitely play on 3 characters. You will not get a red drop guaranteed, but you have the opportunity at getting a red border drop once you complete the 2 hero quest, and you will get 3 drops of the round robin. Now you may not get the red border, that's okay, at least you're getting some rolls. The only other way you could get it is by completing activities in Neomuna. Now, the easiest way that I have noticed of getting round robin to actually drop is to actually play patrol. So what I've been doing is playing terminal overload, and then I'll go pick up patrols in that area and just farm the patrols. Once you get 10 patrols, you will actually get I call them exotic patrols, so to speak, but it's actually a gold patrol, and that will guarantee more often than not a new Neomuna drop. So it's not necessarily going to drop the round robin, but you are able to get it. It is definitely going to be difficult to get. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It does come with a grind. Whereas with the Igneous Hammer, of course, it's a little bit older. It doesn't have quite the perks that round robin has, but all you have to do is play trials and just turn in some engrams and then just farm for your roll. Now, so to speak, you do have to wait until trials comes back around if you guys haven't played it, but the round robin's definitely going to take a lot more time and energy, especially on Neomuna. And me personally, I don't really like playing patrols like that, but that's really the only way that I've seen so far to actually get one to drop. You just have to get lucky. That's really it's RNG. Now those gold patrol missions, they are very easy to do, and like I said, they do guarantee a Neomuna drop. You just don't really know what weapon you're going to get. And of course, there's so many other good weapons as well, the pulse rifle, but I really don't want to talk about that too much. We're really focused on that hand cannon, and like I said, the only way you're really going to get Neomuna weapons is if you do activities on Neomuna. It is time consuming, but it's available 100% of the time. You can always go in and try to grind for one. And like I said, with Igneous Hammer, you just have to wait till trials comes around. If you do not have Igneous Hammer already unlocked, it will cost you more in the engram department, but once you unlock it, it'll be significantly cheaper. Now, this brings me to rolls. So with Igneous Hammer, now for Igneous Hammer, the barrel perk that I actually have on the gun that is playing in the background is full bore. I don't necessarily like full bore. I feel like I'd rather have extended barrel or corkscrew rifling, but that's just me. Unfortunately, I just didn't get that roll yet. Full bore isn't bad. I really don't notice the stability kick really as much as I thought I would. I do like that extra range, and my weapon actually tops out at a 95. Now for my mag perk, I have high caliber rounds. That's the best one in my opinion. You could also go with ricochet rounds. That's not too bad as well. And for that third trait column, you're either going to want quick draw or killing wind for PvP. Now, first and foremost, I'm only using this hand cannon for PvP. Just keep that in mind. Now, for my last and final trait column, I have Rampage on mine. Rampage is good. It does increase that forgivability, so to speak, when you are playing with this weapon. But just keep in mind, you can no longer 2-tap. Snapshot sights used to be one of the best perks that you could get with this weapon, but I don't feel the need for it when we have all these extra artifact mods that can increase our ready time with our 120s. Now round robin definitely has some interesting perks, especially since it's a craftable weapon, although it is very hard to actually get to that point. You will have to grind a lot. Now for my barrel perk with this weapon, I would actually go with full bore. I know it's not the best on the list. If I don't use full bore, I would definitely have to use hammer forged rifling. Round robin definitely hurts in the range department compared to Igneous Hammer. With Igneous Hammer, I could get roughly 36 or 37 meters or so when I'm aiming down sights, and round robin just does not compete nowhere near close to Igneous Hammer when it comes to range. So I definitely go for full bore or at least hammer forged rifling. Now for my second perk, I definitely want to go with ricochet rounds. That's the best one in my opinion. You could go for high caliber, but ricochet rounds gives you that bump in stability, and it also gives you the bump in range. Now for my third perk, I'm definitely going with keep away. There's nothing else here that would even entice me to use. I definitely have to use keep away just because of the range, and you get all those extra benefits just for being at a distance from your opponents. And with these 120 hand cannons, that's how you play. You play at distance and you play more passive. Now with my final trait column, I'm actually going to go with kill clip for PvP. There are other good options here. My current roll that I have is Elemental Capacitor, and that works great depending on the subclass you use, but I would definitely go with Kill Clip. That way I could 2-tap Guardians. If you are playing PvE, then Hatchling will be the way to go with this one, just because you can spawn those Threadlings. Opening Shot is okay, but it's only for that one round, and when you have that high damage dealing perk here, I would definitely go with Kill Clip. Now for my final opinion, I do love Igneous Hammer. I absolutely adore it. It does feel like a 140, and it feels very well when you're actually shooting this weapon. The perks really don't matter. It feels that good. Now with Round Robin, it definitely has the lethality, and you can also craft it. I really think it's really just a more of a pick your poison type incident. With the new strand subclass that we have now, Round Robin definitely pairs very well with that, and I feel like Igneous Hammer might need some actual updates. But Igneous Hammer did have some time to shine compared to other hand cannons, especially since it was out here just 2-tapping like crazy. I believe Round Robin could possibly get the same treatment in the future, but I feel like hand cannons are actually in a very good spot, so I believe Bungie will probably re-release Igneous Hammer at some point, just like they have done with other weapons in the past, and give that refresh. But I absolutely love Igneous Hammer. I got a few rolls already in my vault. Round Robin will just be an excellent addition to have, especially with the updated perks and stuff like that. So with the new traits that they have and everything, I would say in our current time, I would prefer Round Robin, but it definitely feels good to go back to the old Igneous Hammer and play with it. Now if you didn't see my other hand cannon videos, sometimes I often go back and play with old weapons from the past, like I did a Not Forgotten hand cannon review about a year ago. It garnished pretty good bit of views for me, for my channel anyways, and I definitely enjoy going back and comparing new weapons with the old weapons and seeing how they shine. I definitely will have some more videos coming out here in a couple of days. I appreciate you all for watching. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it, and it is a free way to support me. I will see you all in the next video. I hope you all have a wonderful day.